Have you ever heard of the dark kitchen? Or the ghost kitchen? Or CloudKitchen? Virtual kitchen? Kitchen chicken? One of these is probably made up, but the fact is, the restaurant industry doesn't even know which term to use. The most popular term being the ghost kitchen. But that doesn't really make much sense, because it's not like there's a ghost cooking meals in the kitchen. Cloud kitchen doesn't really make much sense either, because the chefs aren't cooking in the sky. Virtual kitchen is just weird, because it's not like your food is comprised of bits which you can just bite into. Dark kitchen though. Dark kitchen sounds more appropriate, because it's an enclosed working environment where the chefs just labor away, alone, with no windows, and no one to talk to. It's almost like a prison in a sense. That's why I will be using the term dark kitchen as we enter this dark age of restaurant industry. Just kidding. Okay, maybe not, because this is actually a serious problem. So what is a dark kitchen? A dark kitchen is a restaurant with no storefront. This means that there will be no dining room, servers, hosts, or cashiers. This business model revolves only around the kitchen and its chefs, and is focused entirely on food delivery through the use of third-party food delivery platforms. There are currently over 1,000 dark kitchens around the world. So what contributed to the rise of dark kitchens? Well, food delivery is on the rise, and more people prefer to eating at home in front of their favorite TV shows than eating at a restaurant. Some restaurant operators thought, instead of bearing all the expenses to run a restaurant, only to have the customers bring the food home to eat on the couch, why not get rid of the storefront and just operate out of the kitchen to cater to these next generation consumers? And that's exactly what's happening now. Most restaurants are losing money from these third-party food delivery services, so turning to the dark kitchen business model seems like the logical solution to fixing this problem. Besides, they could save a lot of money by eliminating the front of the house staffs. The concept is so popular that big-name restaurants such as Chick-fil-A, Wingstop, Wendy's, and Starbucks already have operations in the dark kitchen. In fact, the food you just ordered probably comes from a dark kitchen. Dark kitchen might just be the future of the restaurant industry, and an end to the traditional restaurant as they are slowly cannibalized by off-premise orders. There are two types of dark kitchens: partner-exclusive kitchens and non-partner-exclusive kitchens. Doordash, Deliveroo, and Uber Eats all have their own partner-exclusive dark kitchens. If you operate within their own established dark kitchens, you can only use their service to deliver your food, and your restaurant listing is exclusive only to their platforms. Let's first take a look at Doordash Kitchens, that was launched on October 2019. This red brick house is able to house up to 5 restaurants. Each restaurant has around 400 to 600 square feet of kitchen space to work with. The kitchens are fully equipped, and the storage room and refrigerator are shared among the 5 restaurants. In working with DoorDash, these kitchens are fully customizable, and the janitorial and delivery services are all handled by DoorDash's own personnel. Kitchen maintenance and marketing will also be taken care of. Next, we have Deliveroo Editions, a subsidiary division of the third-party food delivery platform Deliveroo that was launched on April 2017 in the UK. These kitchens, also called root boxes, are operated in something akin to shipping containers that are scattered over the cities, such as the back of warehouses or inside abandoned parking lots. In 2017, Deliveroo got in trouble for building these root boxes without the permission from local councils. The root boxes are tiny, with 2 to 3 chefs working in the kitchen at once, and no windows, so the chefs usually keep the doors open while they work. These kitchens are also fully equipped. Deliveroo Editions run on 2 different business models. One is to pay rent, and it comes with a standard commission rate. The other is rent-free, but it also comes at a much higher commission rate. How much higher? I'm not sure. That's confidential. Moving on, we have Zomato Kitchen that was launched on March 2017 in India. Each restaurant within Zomato Kitchen has approximately 300 square feet of kitchen space to work with, and the kitchens are fully equipped. On February 2020, Zomato decided to relinquish the exclusivity rights for its dark kitchens, allowing them to be listed on its competitor's platform, Swiggy. Swiggy, another food delivering platform in India, launched its dark kitchen model called Swiggy Access on November 2017. Since then, it has helped to create over 1,000 dark kitchens across 14 cities. The kitchens come fully equipped, and the kitchen size varies between 100 to 500 square feet. There is no rental fee associated with these kitchens, but the commission rate is reported to be higher than what it imposes on independent restaurants. GrabFood, a food division of the ride-hailing company in Singapore, launched its own dark kitchen earlier this year, which they called GrabKitchen. There isn't much information on their business operation, but here are some pictures. Uber Eats operate on a model called Virtual Kitchen that's slightly different from the dark kitchen model we've been discussing. The virtual kitchen concept allows restaurant operators with a brick-and-mortar location to run a separate delivery-only restaurant that exists only on Uber Eats platform. For example, a sushi restaurant can also run a virtual poke bowl restaurant because these two cuisines share the same ingredients, so the chefs can cross-utilize their ingredients. This restaurant, Top Round Roast Beef, located in San Francisco, might look like any other ordinary restaurant. What you probably don't know is that it also houses 3 other virtual restaurants, such as Blue Ribbon Chicken, TR Burger and Wings, and Ice Cream Custard. Now, let's turn our attention to non-partner exclusive dark kitchens such as CloudKitchens, Kitchen United, and Zuul Kitchen. Through these non-partner exclusive kitchens, you can use any third-party food delivery services you'd like. CloudKitchens was founded in 2016 by former Uber CEO Travis Kalanick. The kitchens come fully equipped and has about 230 square feet of kitchen space to work with. The rent is between $8 to $12K per month with a 3-month lease upfront. Kitchen United was founded in 2017. The kitchens come fully equipped and has 350 square feet of kitchen space to work with. The rent is $6,500 per month with a 6-month lease upfront. The dishwashing are done overnight by Kitchen United's own personnel. Zuul Kitchen was founded in 2018. The kitchens come fully equipped, and the kitchen size varies between 184 to 265 square feet of kitchen space to work with. Not sure about the price of the rent, but there's a 1-year lease associated with it. The walk-in refrigerators, dishwashers, and locker rooms are all shared among 6 restaurants. The maintenance, hood cleaning, pest control, internet, and trash are all taken care of by Zuul Kitchen's own personnel. Do you know which country has the world's largest population? China. Do you know which country has the largest food delivery industry? Also China. In 2018, approximately 355 million people in China used an online food delivery service, and 33.7% of the users ordered delivery 3 to 5 times a week. Food delivery is a huge business in China. In 2016, Panda Selected was conceived and in just 3 years has worked with over 800 domestic catering brands. Its kitchens are fully equipped and are able to accommodate up to 20 restaurants. Each restaurant has around 250 square feet of space to work with, and the price varies by location. In Beijing, restaurant operators need to pay around $2,831 for the entrance fee, and another $1,415 monthly rent to start their business. Alright, before we go on to talk about the pros and cons about dark kitchen, I just want you to know that some pros and cons we covered in the last video on third-party food delivery platforms are still applicable in this context. I will not be listing everything here again, so if you have missed it, be sure to check it out later, and I will leave the link to the video in the description below. The pros and cons I will be listing in this video will be exclusive to operating a dark kitchen. Cost. Opening a brand new brick and mortar restaurant could cost anywhere between $400,000 to $1 million. With dark kitchen, you can save money on restaurant renovation, permits for the infrastructure, tables, chairs, utensils, and the need to hire front of the house staffs. In operating a dark kitchen, you can run a restaurant with as little as 1 to 2 chefs, and the rent can be as little as $6,000 per month. Low risk. The restaurant industry is a risky business. Do you want to know why it's risky? Because you're tied to a 5-10-year lease agreement. If you set up your shop in an area where your food doesn't appeal to the people in the community, you're pretty much stuck to endure slow, agonizing death. With dark kitchen, your upfront commitment can be as short as a 3-month lease. If your business venture doesn't work out, you can just pack up and move to another city. Better yet, you can terminate your current restaurant on the delivery platforms and start anew under a different name, serving different types of cuisine. And nobody will even know it because your restaurant only exists on the food delivery platforms. With a traditional restaurant, you can't really do that. It's no wonder why the dark kitchen concept has exploded over the last 3 years. It carries far less risk than a traditional restaurant that sports a high upfront investment and overhead costs, and the downside of being locked down to one location. According to a 2019 report by LimeTray, a restaurant marketing and software company, 67% of restaurant owners would prefer to open a dark kitchen as their next business venture. Fast startup time. Building your own brick and mortar restaurant could take months, maybe even a year to finish. You would also have to spend a lot of time acquiring licenses and permits with the city, and seeking talents to run the front and the back of your restaurant. With dark kitchen, you can start running your business in under a month. There is less paperwork to worry about, and you only need 1 to 2 chefs to run your kitchen. Everything else from the equipment, maintenance, to food delivery are all taken care of. Business hours. Unlike most traditional restaurants that close around 9 p.m., there's no limit to the hours of operation for dark kitchens. According to McDonald's report in 2019, 60% of delivery orders are placed at night. Think about how much business you can get when most restaurants are closed, and the only place people can satisfy their late night cravings is from your dark kitchen. Alright, let's talk about the cons for operating a dark kitchen. Quality. The difference between a customer picking up an order from a restaurant and a customer getting food from a third-party food delivery driver is that the driver doesn't drive from the restaurant to your house directly. The driver will probably drive from restaurant A to restaurant B and C, then drop the food off to customer B and C before arriving at your house. This is called stacked orders. Let's take this Reddit post as an example. The original ETA was 1 hour, but the driver seemed to be driving further and further away before delivering the food 2 hours later. Tell me, How good would the food taste after sitting for 2 hours in the car? This could really hinder the quality of the food, and quality has always been difficult to maintain for off-premise orders. In this Yelp review, the chicken sandwich had been trapped in the package for so long that the sandwich was all cold and soggy. In operating a dark kitchen where your entire lifeline depends on delivery, you only have one shot at this before your customers turn to your competitors. You need to find a way to deliver your food to your customers in as best condition as possible, and it's something that most restaurant operators are still trying to figure out, which means testing out different types of packaging and investing in more expensive containers, which can quickly add up in cost. Competition. Competition on the delivery platforms can be a lot fiercer than a traditional restaurant. Instead of competing with the 30 restaurants in your area, you're competing against 300 restaurants on these platforms. With the lack of a physical location, this means you do not get the benefit of walk-in traffic and will most likely have to pay premiums to promote yourself on these delivery apps. Customer loyalty. The biggest and most glaring difference between a dark kitchen and a traditional restaurant is that a dark kitchen does not have a storefront where the customers can come in to eat. Unlike the traditional restaurant where diners get to experience the ambience of the restaurant, it's going to be difficult to convey that special experience with food delivery. And it will take a lot more than just with that special packaging. You will need to try very hard to stand out among your competitors. Exclusivity. Since a dark kitchen doesn't have a storefront and exists only on the third-party food delivery platforms, you're essentially alienating a good number of population that may include people who don't have access to the internet, access to the credit cards, and even older generations. And that's a lot of potential customers. Some loyal customers are willing to drive great lengths to eat at their favorite restaurants. But if you're operating a dark kitchen, it's very unlikely the couriers would drive 10 miles just to deliver a meal, thus limiting your reach. If you are operating a partner-exclusive dark kitchen such as Doordash Kitchens or Deliveroo Editions, your reach is even more limited to just those platforms. Bugs and glitches. It's technology, so of course there will be bugs and glitches. But those bugs and glitches can have a negative impact on restaurant businesses and their relationships with their customers. Sometimes the map will glitch, causing delays. Other times the food will be ready, but with no one there to pick it up, yet the drivers will mark their orders as delivered, as had happened to several New Jersey restaurants earlier this year. But do you want to know what's worse than bugs and glitches? Digital outage. This is arguably the biggest con for operating dark kitchens, and it is much worse than those annoying bugs and glitches because it is a complete blackout. The customers couldn't order anything, and the drivers don't see any orders. Grubhub and Seamless experienced a major outage on October 30th, 2016, that lasted for nearly 4 hours. DoorDash experienced a major outage on August 1st, 2019, that lasted over 4 hours. Uber and Uber Eats both experienced a global major outage on December 10th, 2018, for several hours. And I use the term major outage because of course there will always be a bunch of short, sporadic outages from time to time that last anywhere from a few seconds to a few minutes. But a major outage that lasts a few hours long could really impact a business, especially if you're operating a dark kitchen that is 100% dependent upon their services. But the biggest outage happened just a few weeks ago on April 17th, 2020, when Google Maps experienced an outage immobilizing all of the third-party food delivery platforms. It happened again on April 23rd, 2020. This time, it had a rippling effect because Uber Eats was down for more than 24 hours throughout the weekend. According to Craig Pike, owner of Craig's Cookies, he estimated that he had lost $6,000 over the weekend due to the outage with Uber Eats. Restaurants suffered, couriers suffered, and deliveries delayed. So this is probably the biggest factor you have to consider when you decide to take your business completely online. And the last con on our list is working conditions. There's a strong concern in the restaurant community about whether skilled chefs will become underpaid and overworked employees, much like how Uber has transformed the taxi industry. Dark kitchens are small, cramped, and windowless kitchen spaces. Will the chefs be able to endure long working hours in this kind of work environment? Now, you can argue that chefs are used to working in hot, overcrowded kitchens. It's not really any different. And you're right, but they would also like to step out of their kitchen once in a while to watch the customers enjoy their craft. As this Redditor nicely put it, I love to cook, always have. But the reason I chose to start working in a kitchen is because it's a great way to make people happy without actually having to interact with them. With Dark Kitchen, you sort of lose that side of human touch. I think ultimately this Dark Kitchen concept will attract the wrong type of people into the restaurant industry. The people who are in the game for money and will hire as little staffs as possible to make the most profit while disregarding the staff's working conditions. As celebrity chef David Chang once said about Dark Kitchen, is it really freedom or is it more servitude? So what is the restaurant industry going to look like in the future? Well, before we look into the future, let's take a look at what's going on right now around the world. If you are watching this video some years into the future, we are currently in the midst of a global pandemic caused by COVID-19, also known as the coronavirus, that originated from Wuhan, China. As of May 2020, there are over 3.78 million reported cases and over 265,000 deaths. Due to the severity of the situation, restaurants and bars have been shuttered since March. And according to UBS, an investment banking company, close to 20% of restaurants across the US could be permanently closed. As it stands now, delivery and pickup are the only options people can get food from restaurants. And once the ordinance has been lifted and the restaurants can resume their daily operations, most people will probably still experience some form of PTSD from this pandemic and refuse to dine in. Restaurant owners who lost everything but want to re-enter the restaurant business with a clean slate will most likely look into the dark kitchen concept, and this is where the dark kitchen business will begin to boom. So, what is the restaurant industry going to look like in the future? In the last video, I mentioned that because these third-party food delivery platforms are operating at a loss and the restaurant partners are bleeding money from high commission rates, the customers will ultimately shoulder the burden by paying more in delivering fees. Well, I might just be very wrong about that, and here's why. Customers always win. Promotions. Let's take this promo as an example. BJ's is now on Postmates. Celebrate with a free Pizookie. Our first response is, wow, thanks Postmates, a free Pizookie. Hey everybody, free Pizookie on Postmates. And then all of a sudden people start downloading the app and using its service. What people don't know is that BJ is the one paying for these free Pizookies, and they have to pay additional commission fees for this promotion. At the end of the day, customer loyalty goes to Postmates, not BJ's, because that's where people will be finding free deals like this. Passes. Grubhub, Doordash, Postmates, and Uber Eats all have their own versions of subscription service that costs $9.99 per month, which allows users to get free deliveries on orders over a certain amount. $9.99 is pretty much the delivery fee for 2 to 3 orders, so users can break even after just 2 to 3 orders. So who wouldn't like that? The intention is to convince customers to order more items from restaurants to achieve that free delivery mark. Oh wait, did I just say restaurants? I meant to say some restaurants. Those who are willing to pay 3 to 5% more in commission fee to be listed as promoted businesses. DoorDash and Deliveroo establishing their own dark kitchens should be a major concern to all restaurant operators, because they're going from delivering food for your restaurant to directly competing with you with their own dark kitchens. With all the data gathered throughout the years from their restaurant partners, they know just which type of cuisines appeal to a specific area. Eventually, everything will be operated under one roof, from cooking the food, to marketing, to delivering the food to the customers. This is called vertical integration, where Doordash will control the entire end-to-end business operation. For too long now, these third-party food delivery companies have been operating at a loss. Uber Eats lost $461 million in 2019. DoorDash lost $450 million in 2019. Postmates lost $75 million in 2017. The latest California law, AB 5, declared gig workers to be classified as employees so they can reap benefits such as minimum wage and workers' compensations. This law is putting even more pressure on these companies, so they decided to fight back in court. To turn the tide around, delivery companies are also investing heavily into self-driving vehicles and drones to deliver the food. An idea which isn't too far off now, as Google's Google Wing, Amazon's Amazon Prime Air, and Domino's Domicopter have all had great successes with drone deliveries. When new technology becomes commercially available and solidifies itself in the restaurant industry, these third-party food delivery companies will have the upper hand over traditional restaurants, because with dark kitchen, they can eliminate the need to fly the drones from one kitchen to another. They can deliver everything from their own dark kitchens, which are much cheaper to operate and maintain, so they can also compete in price, much like Amazon's own Amazon Basic brand, and Target's own Up and Up brand. Inevitably, there will be a price war between the dark kitchens and the traditional restaurants. Third-party food delivery companies can further leverage the playing field to their advantage by hiking the commission rate, forcing traditional restaurant operators to join their dark kitchens. As we look further into the future, investing in robots will tilt the equation even more, because this could drive the cost of operation even lower, further attracting food entrepreneurs into the dark kitchen business. But that's another video for another day on automation. For now, if you are interested in robotic power restaurants, check out Spice. It's really cool. Lastly, when the traditional restaurant industry has finally crumbled, giving way to dark kitchens, third-party delivery companies can then increase the commission rate to their liking, which at that point they're sure to have you by the balls, because as dark kitchen operators, you are 100% dependent on their services, so you are in no position to negotiate for a lower rate. And if you think this is some sort of horror fiction, look no further than the boxes you normally receive on your doorsteps. Amazon. Diapers.com was founded in 2005, selling products such as diapers, formulas, and baby wipes. Soon, the website expanded its inventory to include other various baby products. Amazon saw this as a threat, so in 2009, Amazon planned to strike a deal with Quidsi, the parent company of Diapers.com, to acquire the startup. The founders refused. Amazon went on the offensive with a 30% discount on diapers listed on Amazon. Diapers.com responded with further discounts on its website. Now, you can't go on a price war with a behemoth like Amazon. You're not going to win. So Amazon retaliated with even further discount. It didn't matter if Amazon was losing profits on those sales, because it had a war chest large enough to sustain those losses for years, but not Diapers.com. After nearly a year, the founders at Diapers.com surrendered and sold the company to Amazon. Amazon then jacked the prices of diapers back up to normal. In 2017, the Diapers.com division was shut down by Amazon. If the third-party delivery companies are to merge and to occupy the restaurant industry with their own dark kitchens, I truly believe that we will be heading down that same path. So, are we really entering the dark age of restaurant industry? Remember those times when we got to celebrate our birthdays or cry at a dinner with a friend over a breakup? There might not be that special place for us anymore in the future. In a 20-slide presentation to investors in 2018, Deliveroo's primary objectives are to 1. Create its own offerings personalized for customers. 2. Halve the cost of food for customers. 3. Automate delivery. 4. Automate food production. And 5. To double its profit margin. According to Deliveroo's vision for the future, restaurants will be limited to special occasions, and people will only cook as a hobby, assuming there will be any dine-in restaurants left in the future. So, do you think restaurants as we know it today will be replaced by dark kitchens? Let us know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.